What's going on, y'all? It's Wednesday, day two, credit questions. All right, running 1 minute late, but that's all right, all right, all right. Again, I want to thank everybody for coming out on Monday. It was a great experience, you know what I'm saying? And I have fun. It's just gonna get better from here. There's a lot of topics that I'm gonna be touching on as I'm learning this thing too. There's just so much to learn about. And I want to give you guys the right information. But again, I'm having fun with this. I got so much love over the last 2 days about what I'm doing and what I'm accomplishing and just moving forward with things. So again, I want to thank everyone out there for supporting me, showing me some type of love. Even if you don't hop on this live event right now, you can always go back and view this because it is going to be recorded and stuff. So again, man, we're just gonna rock on and rock on, So let's jump into this thing. So I figured that there's gonna be a whole bunch of questions coming in sooner rather than later and later rather than sooner. So I'll pick some topics just to go over real quick. If you have any questions about it, you're more than welcome to ask them. If you have any credit question, regardless if it's personal or you know, business related, I'd be more than happy to address it as we go. So your questions don't necessarily have to be related to the topics that I'm talking about. Basically, the topics that I'm talking about are going to be fillers. But please keep your questions coming. It was just so dope Monday. I had some questions, I had some what ups and stuff like that. So we're just going to continue to rock on. Just remember that I am going to be able to see your questions now. So as the questions come in, um, type them. Don't be scared. I don't care what they are. And that's the thing. If I don't know the answers to those questions, I have the people in my circle. I have my mentors available that, hey, listen, I could find out just about anything. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go ahead and jump in. I don't really see anybody on here right now, but that's okay. You know, this thing is being recorded. So we're gonna jump right into this thing. All right. So I did send out a little video. And again, I'm going to get better with this thing and give you guys more time to maybe schedule this if you are interested in the topics that I'm going to be presenting on. I'm going to have to change kind of my platform because the reason that I didn't see your questions yesterday is because I just set it up wrong. And I just had to reevaluate where I was streaming to. Right now, I'm using StreamYard. It seems pretty good. The picture's clear. It's just that there's certain platforms that they don't stream to, and I didn't know that. But anyway, let's go on. All right. So as you see here, the topics are going to be today are going to be small business funding, fleet and transportation accounts, and some real estate. Basically, buying and investing real estate with business credit. Now, that topic right there is a doozy. That topic right there is a lot of information. So what I'm going to be doing is once I go through this, and again, this segment is only going to be for about maybe 30, 40 minutes. Um, it's just that the real estate with business credit is a complex. Well, it's not really complex. It's just that there's a lot of information and there's a lot of ways to go about doing it. So I'm going to dedicate Monday to that. I'm going to take the rest of the week to put things together, make sure that I give you the right information. Because as I'm giving you this information, I'm also going to be doing this as well. So I'm going to be finding ways to, stick my foot in that pool, and start exploring real estate and investing in real estate when it comes to business credit. So again, this is my second live event. This is not my podcast. This is my live streaming event that I'm going to have on a weekly basis, Mondays and Wednesdays. So, but January is going to be definite pop off. So, invitations are going to go out. It's just going to be live. But anyway, So again, we're going to start off with funding for small business, and I hope you see what I see. You should. I'm doing a little screen share right now, and it's going to be phenomenal. The information on here, again, if you guys are not able to, you know, be on this live event, you can always rewind this, and you can watch this later. All right. So let's jump into it right now. All right. Let's start out with funding for small businesses. All right. Now, in the beginning, when you're just starting out and you might have an idea or you might have a business name, but that's really all you have. You really have no leads, you really have no funding. You're doing everything out of pocket, you're doing everything from an idea. It's like what God said, like the Bible said, it started from the mind, started in triple darkness. So what you're doing is try to bring things to light. But you might not know how. So you're probably starting out with no leads, no fundings, no support. Some people might not believe in what you're doing. My advice to you is don't tell everyone what you're doing, because you're going to have a lot of naysayers out there. You're going to have a lot of individuals out there that just say, nah, you can't do this, you can't do that. So my thing when it comes to the support, you don't necessarily need support. My biggest thing is putting God first and pursuing your dreams, no matter what anyone says. It might start out rocky, it might start out small. You might be in a one-room shack, but at the end of the day, it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. So, but in the beginning, you have to set some type of platform for yourself. So you might not have the leads, you might not have the funds, you might not have the support, you might not have the prospects, but you just have this idea. You might not have the inventory or the contacts. But again, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. The biggest problem with a lot of us, entrepreneurs, when we start out, we go to the banks. We have a tendency to go to the banks, and the banks aren't your friends. The banks are out solely for profit. And if you don't understand that, it's really going to come back to bite you, because you start off with a loan and you start off in debt. You start off with high interest rate, and then you're never going to dig your way out of that hole. So my advice to you is start off small. Don't necessarily jump and go for the jugular. You definitely want to start off small, and this is how you start off small. All right, now when they say you can't, well, you can. There's always a way. What I want to do really quickly is, give me a second, y'all. I might have to do this all over again. What's going on, y'all? And that was the problem. So I know exactly what's going to be. I know exactly what it's going to be. And it actually might not happen tonight, y'all, because what it is that I can't post to my page. I have to go through my CMD page, and a lot of my people are not on my CMD page. That's really what it comes down to. So I'll wait for one person to jump on. I don't want to be talking to myself completely. Hey, there you go. All right. So basically, whoever jumped on right now, the problem is, and I found out that I can't stream to my page. I have to go through my CMD page. So you can actually jump on my CMD page, and I'll be able to see your questions. But if you stay on my page, I'm not going to be able to see your questions. Right now, I'm streaming to CMD Solutions Group through my Facebook CMD at CMD Solutions Group, and my YouTube channel. So for that one person who's on, I'm not going to be able to see your question. And as more people come on, I'll say that I'll direct you to my CMD page on Facebook. You can just look up CMD Solutions Group on Facebook. But really quickly, I might not be able to see your questions, but that's okay. You can jump on CMD Solutions Group through Facebook, and I'll be able to answer your questions right then and there. All right. So really quickly in the beginning, all right. Now, a lot of us start out with businesses. We got our EIN, we got all this other stuff, but it's mix and match. Nothing is congruent. You just have an idea, right? You probably have no leads, you probably have no funds, you probably have no support. And like I was saying before, when it comes to the support thing, you don't necessarily want everyone to know your business, because when you start letting people know how you feel and what your moves are going to be, you're always going to, be met with roadblocks. Oh, you can't do this, or you shouldn't do that. Maybe you should do this. My whole thing is, don't tell everyone what you're doing. No one is going to see your dream how you see your dream. So, the strong move quietly. So my whole thing is, if you got an idea, just work on it. You might have maybe your wife, your best friend, your spouse. You might want to work on things together, but just don't, throw your idea out to everyone. Not everyone has your full support. You probably have no prospects, no inventory, no contacts, and things of that nature. Um, our biggest problem is thinking that the banks are our friends. Banks are not our friends, because their number one sole thing is for profit. So jumping into this really quickly, um, when you say you can't, you can. All right. Now, the first step of developing a solid business, the first thing is to develop a strong business plan. All right. You might want to get some investors. You might have some people that who have capital, but they're not going to give you money, or they're not going to invest in you unless you have a solid business plan, not just an idea. Now, in order for you to have a solid business plan, your fundability has to be on point. And that's going to be something that I'm really going to harp on just about every single video that I make. Because if your foundation isn't solid, you're not going to get the funding that you need. You're not going to get the support that you need. Because, when you go to apply for things, they're going to look at you as fraudulent or non-credible. So the most important thing, as I said on Monday, is your virtual office or your brick and mortar, your LLC, your EIN, two business bank accounts. Now, the reason I say two business bank accounts is because, I always love the idea of splitting my money up and not keeping it up in one spot. For tax purposes, for general saving purposes, I like to split my money up. Okay, even when you get big enough and you want to give yourself a salary, it's really good to split your money up. But everything in yellow that you see right now, that's the things that you really want to concentrate on. You want to concentrate on your virtual office and your brick and mortar, your LLC, your EIN, two business bank accounts, checking and savings, a 1-800 number, 411 listing, and a website. If you don't have those basic things, you're not going to get the funding that you want or you deserve. Even if you have a solid idea, your fundability has to be there. So, a majority of the slides, that's what it's going to be. Step number two is getting a vendor accounts. Okay, now again, the vendor accounts are the vendors who issue credit that you only can use with them. So, for example, you have Ranger, 5 Star Processing, Asean, Uline, and Quail. There are others, but I'm going to touch on these because I know about these. And I mean, I know about all of them, but these are the ones that are really, really easy, simple, and quick. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to jump through a whole bunch of hoops to get it. Now, these are called Net 30 accounts, all right? These are the beginning accounts that you want to get, these vendor accounts. Um, Give me a second. I want to record this. See, I can't. I gotta create a page.